Don't tell me talk as long as I need, you'll never get me off. It's brilliant to be here with you today. Let's give the March for Life a big cheer. Yay! I come from Ireland, and I live in a town called Dungarvan, and I just want to tell you about my baby daughter, Liadhan, and how she changed my life forever. Liadhan was diagnosed with trisomy 18 while I carried her in my womb. She remained there snug and safe until it was her time to say goodbye. The doctor told me that she was incompatible with life, that ugly, dehumanizing, meaningless phrase, even though I felt her dance and move inside me. I said to him without thinking, she's compatible with me. She was compatible with love too, and she brought nothing but love, and she knew nothing but love. How many of us are lucky enough to say that in our lives? The top consultant in Dublin told me that I could pop to England to have her aborted, to end her life. What a foolish man. He didn't know how beautiful imperfection can be. How Tracy Harkin, mother to Kathleen Rose, another child with trisomy 18, told me, children like Liadhan and Evelyn and all the others are sent to teach us how to love. Ending her life was never an option, and how could we not give her every chance? Doesn't everyone deserve that? A chance? I'm not going to try and sugarcoat this. There was days when my heart felt torn to pieces at the cruelty of how short her life actually would be. There was anguish that still stops me in my tracks when I think of it. But I know this. Had I aborted her, as my doctor advised, I think I never would have recovered. Instead, I knew that I never did anything to hurt her, and she never did anything to hurt me. He didn't understand that, doctor, that if my love could have saved her, she would have lived forever. All we wanted to do was pour a lifetime of love into her short life. So, we left that hospital. We went to a pro-life doctor, and he loved us both. And doesn't every mother, and especially those mothers who are in distress and fear, deserve that? A doctor who wants to help you instead of telling you to kill your baby. We followed his advice to make the most of the time with Liadhan. We sat in the garden, we read books to her, we sang to her, and we told her how brave and special and wonderful she was. One day, when she was 32 weeks old, her movement stopped and she was born. She was a tiny 2 pounds with beautiful long black eyelashes and thick, curly black hair that we don't know where she got that from. And she had a really grumpy look on her face. She was my precious, precious girl, and I am so proud of her. The house was full for days with people coming to see her. Tiny Liadhan, who made such a big impact on the world, and she inspired me as much as everybody else, and she changed my life. Because of her, I got involved with the organization Every Life Counts. To date, we have helped over 200 families like ours. These families are in most danger of being pushed towards abortion. We are told that our babies are fatal anomalies and given meaningless labels. When we spoke to families in Every Life Counts this year, we done an analysis, and every parent was offered abortion as a first option. Every single parent. 100% of families like mine were offered abortion as a first option for babies like Liadhan. And most felt that abortion was pushed repeatedly on them, even though they had already said that they didn't want to end their baby's life. What a horrendous reflection on how healthcare can go horribly wrong. We are all familiar with the pressure that the NHS in this country have put parents under after a diagnosis of disability. They are pushed to abort. Just this week, I read of a case in England where a mum was told she was being inhumane because she didn't want to abort her twins. But she refused. What a brave mum, just like Megan. Lots of mums can find the courage if they're given support, but instead they're pushed to abort. We all know the shocking and heartbreaking statistics. 90% of babies with trisomy 21 are aborted. The work done by Every Life Counts, the organisation that I represent, does help parents to choose life instead, to choose love and healing after loss for their infinitely precious, infinitely important, and infinitely valuable babies. Though we are Irish-based, since 2018, we have helped 29 families from the UK to choose life for their babies. These families have told us they were desperately in need of help and felt so blessed to have come across us. They felt abandoned by the health system. We walked with them on that lonely journey and helped them shoulder the difficult parts. We gave information and support, and we helped them make memories. Sometimes we make birth plans and we provide a shoulder to cry on. We link them to other parents who have been in the same situation, and we send out care packages. Here's one thing that we know. More than 90% of babies with disabilities, including trisomies, are aborted. And that's an unspeakable tragedy. But this should fill us with great joy. When families like families helped by Every Life Counts get the help that they need, that number is actually reversed. Study shows that these families, the families most under pressure to abort their little babies, choose life 85% of the time when they get perinatal hospice care. We can save 85% of these very sick babies from abortion if the doctors just simply love them both. If the government needs to protect families, we need to hold them to account. Let's choose love over abortion, choose life over death, and please help us to make every life count. These very special babies and their families deserve no less. Thank you.